I got to spend my Sunday sitting on my couch playing Halo 3 multiplayer. Xbox 360, wired controller, HD CRT TV, awesome 5.1 surround sound. For some of the gameplay, my fiance was relaxing next to me. For the rest, she was playing Dragon Age Inquisition on her PC across the room. This is quite different from my normal Sundays, usually spent rushing to get things done or to make last-minute content. This felt more like high school, where I would spend all day on Halo 3 and didn't have a care in the world about it. I don't normally let myself do this anymore, but I spent the day before at a college football game with my dad and got sunburned to hell and back, so moving isn't exactly fun. But it's not the same. It's not 2008, 2009, or 2010 anymore. Halo 3 doesn't hold up. It may have been my favorite game, probably of all time, but the netcode and the 30 FPS cap just don't work today. I could make do with the lower frame rate, floaty movement, and slow movement, and projectile bullet spread. That was how the game played originally, if it wasn't for the netcode. It is bad now. Don't get me wrong, while people didn't complain about it quite as much back in the day, unless someone was running a lag switch, those of us who spent a lot of time in Team SWAT or snipers knew the netcode for Halo 3 was just plain bad. But adding in a new generation of consoles and shutting down half the servers on the back end has not done it any favors. Halo 3 was one of my favorite games, especially for multiplayer. Call of Duty 4 was right up there as well, but I still play COD 4 to this day, or at least until the remaster came out, and then I've played Modern Warfare Remastered off and on to this day, because it held up. The netcode wasn't as bad, and the sprint mechanic allowed it to feel modern but grounded as the series evolved, and the availability on different platforms meant my move to PC didn't mean that I had to stop playing the game. Heck, COD 4 was much better and more populated on PC. But Halo 3 hasn't been playable for a long time. Low population and deteriorating networking actually led me to give up on it after a last hurrah in the summer of 2013. That wasn't supposed to be the end of my time with the game though. The Master Chief Collection for the brand new Xbox One was on the horizon and was supposed to be the definitive collection of Halo games so we could keep playing them, but with updated graphics and new networking. I bought my Xbox One specifically for this purpose, but by the time I did, at Halo 5's launch, MCC had already fallen into a broken nightmare with little population itself. Fast forward a couple years and sure, I was slightly hopeful that Halo 3 backwards compatibility would bring new population and give me my game back. But I knew what to expect. I stayed vocal for a long time about the need to fix MCC and focus on that if 343 Industries ever expected to have our respect as a developer and the face of Halo. I knew what to expect, but I was still disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I've had fun with Halo 3, and it was nice to just hang out and game all day on it, something I haven't done in a long time. But I wouldn't call it the most playable game in the world at this point. I'm certainly not going to join in on the hype train expressing gratitude to 343 for this, especially since this is the opposite of what they should have done. And to be honest, I bet it was Microsoft that pushed and even handled the backwards compatibility updates, as they need to be able to say that you can play all the Halo games on one console, and they can no longer do that with MCC the way it is. To see the same developers and community leads hyping up and expressing excitement for the relaunch of Bungie's Halo 3 while they never bothered to fix theirs is just kind of disgusting. Not only that, but I don't find the Xbox One version all that playable. Connections felt worse, input lag felt worse, and I had performance issues compared to original hardware, and their way of upscaling the already upscaled 720p output just looks kind of blurry. Plus, I simply cannot stand the analog sticks on the Xbox One. The X and Y acceleration is different and has never felt right since day one with the console. So I booted it up on original hardware, popped in my cracking Halo 3 Mythic disc, and set it up on my HD CRT with some glorious surround sound. This isn't super accurate to my original experiences. Much of my time was spent on a big rear projection TV or normal CRTs, but this was closer than my 21-inch console gaming monitor that I use now. And I never really played Halo 3 much with real surround sound. It's freaking great. So good that I set up the 3DO free space binaural mic that I have on loan for review for the tech channel to capture some of how it sounds, just to experiment. It feels a little better on original hardware for sure, but the networking is still trash. Population seemed decent on the first day, around 2,300 or so online when I first jumped in some Sunday morning or early afternoon, but dropped to 1,300 by the time I got off in the evening, and then down to like 500 or 300 by Monday morning. Most playlists had 0 population, so I mainly had to stick to Social Slayer, but that was fine. I'd say 1 out of every 5 or so matches was truly playable. Lag, red bars, rubber banding, disappearing players, half or whole teams quitting out at random points in almost every game, etc. Also, with how Halo 3 works, the more people that drop out, the more likely it is for a host migration and for connections to actually get worse. Like I said, Halo 3's netcode was always bad, but it wasn't this bad. So I got a few good matches, but most of the time I was just getting destroyed while on a team of 2 or 3 versus 5, and there were plenty of times when I swapped weapons like 3 or 4 times because the delay of my actions was so significant. The good matches I had were fun. Had a few matches where I seriously carried, a couple really close and rewarding matches where I didn't mind if I did lose, and some generally fun experiences, even if the usual betrayers showed up to steal your sniper. I was pleasantly surprised that they appear to have unlocked the old Bungie Pro extended file share capacity for everyone, which would make it easier for me to save clips on the 360 in my main gaming area and then record them from my Xbox One over at my workstation. Except nope. The Xbox One literally will not download anything from my file share. It just keeps failing, bugging out, and being unable to access it. Oh well, it was worth a shot. But I can use it while leaving my last uploaded clips from 2010, 2012, and 2013 where they belong. They also left up the last Bungie Favorites release from 2008 and 2009. Maybe it'd be fun to explore those for a quick follow-up video. That was a fun community initiative that made Bungie feel like they were involved. I missed that and the original file forums so dearly. Halo 3 is a fun game, and it was nice to get to play it again, but I can't confidently say that I'd keep playing it regularly. It's just too frustrating to have so many wasted matches to consider it a good use of my time. That's why I pushed for MCC to be fixed instead, and why I don't believe this is a good measurement of if fans still want more classic mechanics and gameplay. While yes, this version is more accessible technically now, if those who sold their 360s still even have their disc copies of the game in the first place since they didn't make it free to play, it's not any more playable than it was in like 2013, and you can't expect people to stick around for that. Many things have changed since high school, mostly for the better, but I do miss the times and the fun that I had wasting away every school evening in this game, yelling into the mic at friends and disturbing my parents. Hopefully I can find such a game experience again, but thus far nothing has stayed with me for anywhere near as long. To wrap this up, no, I'm not grateful to 343 or Microsoft for wasting my money and pretending to cover up their massive screw-ups. I'm beyond pleased to see players in Halo 3 again, and I can only hope it stays that way until we get some sort of custom servers for Halo 2 Vista or Halo Online gets a full US supporting release, but I won't be surprised if it doesn't last. I hear Firefight for ODST is going again too. That was, by far, my favorite rendition of Firefight, with Reach's version being a close second. I'll give that a shot next. I'm proud of how far I've come since 2008. I just hope that this part of my life isn't something that remains only in the past.
One minute remaining.
Epos Vox is a Patreon-supported production. Our videos would simply not be possible without the support and generosity of our patrons, whom you can see on screen now. If you'd like to join the inner circle and get early access to videos, among other benefits, go to patreon.com/eposvox to learn more.